I'm Cass. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be setting up my September 2021 bullet journal. This month, I themed it based off of the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. Now, I have loved this series for a very long time, and I figured it was about time that I did a theme over it. And plus, I really adore the font they use on the covers, and so you'll see me use quite a bit of that font throughout my spreads. Now, the Lunar Chronicles, if you don't already know, is basically fairy tale retellings, but kind of more sci-fi-esque. Like, for example, Cinder, the first book, is based after Cinderella, and Cinder is part cyborg. So it's pretty cool, and there's a lot of plot lines and storylines that all end up like intermixing. There's 7 main characters, and I adore them all, Thorn being my favorite. So if you haven't read the series already, I do highly recommend that you give it a read. Now, before I fade off into the background and pass you off to the voiceover, if you like the video, perhaps you should give it a like. Also, comment down below. Let me know what spread ended up being your favorite, or any interaction down below I will appreciate. I want to speak to the people of the internet. And of course, if you did like this journal setup and you want to see more from me, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I do monthly bullet journal videos, and maybe I'll do more videos. Who knows? Right now it's only the monthly journal videos, but I have a ton of fun with them, and I'm always super extra. So stick around if you want to. Anyway, I'm going to pass you on to the voiceover now.
Well, hello, and welcome to my September plan with me for 2021. I feel like I've been saying this in every bullet journal video I make, but it's insane with how quickly 2021 has flown by. Like, we're almost to the holiday season, which is mind-boggling, yet very exciting. Okay, let me talk about my cover page for a second here. So I'm drawing Artemisia, which is the lunar palace up on the moon, in the Lunar Chronicles. I based the sketch off of one of the pages in the Lunar Chronicles coloring book, but I omitted a few details and basically enlarged the size of the palace, so it took up most of my page. And I guess if you've been following my channel for a bit, I should address the elephant in the room. No, this cover page isn't a map. I know, shocking. But the Lunar Chronicles didn't actually have a map, and I had to figure out something else to do. However, I think this was the perfect substitute for a map because it still is super detailed and took me way too long to sketch and to do the line art. I did enjoy sketching this one out. Once I figured out all of the proper proportions, which were the trickiest part, and I'm sure if you look too closely, you'll notice certain details that just don't make sense. But since there are so many details, they're kind of hard to spot, which was kind of the plan all along. I know I mentioned this in my intro, but if you haven't read the Lunar Chronicles, you are missing out on a fantastic series. Plus, I'm a sucker for a good fairy tale retelling, and Marissa Meyer is so talented with how she handles them. Speaking of, I also actually got to meet her last year at a book convention I went to, and I can't wait until 2022 when I get to go back to that particular book festival, because it was one of the few things I looked forward to every single year. Plus, I love meeting authors. Even though I never have anything to say with them, because words just stop coming to me when I meet someone that I admire or if I admire their work. The people I've met so far have been Cassandra, Claire, Mary Lou, and I've actually met Saba Tahir, but I didn't get a picture with her. I just got my book signed because I hadn't actually read her books. But now that I adore her book series, An Ember in the Ashes, I had wished I got a picture with her. My calendar was tricky to come up with because after taking so long to sketch out my super intricate detailed cover page, I always hit a wall with creativity, and it takes me a little bit to get my groove back. However, I decided to outline the calendar in color since I loved the look of how it turned out last month, and I added some wires dangling from the bottom to represent Cinder being a cyborg and a mechanic. And here's that lovely font I was talking about. I wrote the word September in all caps across the bottom to take up most of the empty space, and just look how gorgeous that font is. I love it. And I'm pretty sure that font is probably the reason why I picked up the series to begin with. Yes, I judged a book by its cover. Shoot me. on to my habit and mood tracker. I wasn't sure what picture to draw, so instead I wrote a quote, and I had it take up half the page on the left. And because of how much space it took up, I had to reformat where I put my habit boxes, but I think they look balanced and even, so it's all good. And the quote reads, "Maybe the princess can save herself." That sounds like a pretty good story too. I just love this quote. It's such a powerful quote, and I hope I can embody it and take it to heart. Oh, also, I adore the color palette I chose for this month. I struggle hardcore with colors, and this palette was no exception. And you might be thinking, Cassandra, it's just 3 shades of purple. But listen, I was trying to take inspiration from the original covers of the book with having both red and purple, but I really hate that color combo, and so I decided to just go with purples. And the book covers are all dark purple, but I knew that I would lose detail in my drawings if I did just dark purple, and so I used a combo of dark and light, and I really like it, and I feel like it still gives me Lunar Chronicle vibes, which is what I was going for. And yes, it is just 3 shades of purple. I will acknowledge that. It's not that impressive. But in case you're wondering, the Tombow Furunosuke codes, the 2 codes for the light purples are 623 and 603, and the dark purple I used is 606. And I really feel like I'm improving with the placing of colors as well, like where they look good on each page, and how to add enough color while also keeping enough white space. So I feel like I'm improving. Next is my finance page, which usually is my least aesthetic but most practical page, and this month was no exception. The font is kind of the main kicker in this theme. It keeps each page looking coherent, even with all the different drawings, and I definitely realized how powerful a font could be with tying together a theme when I did my July themed around Lord of the Rings. Having such a consistent, unique font with the consistent color palette really makes all my pages seem coherent and very aesthetically pleasing, in my opinion. Next to my finances is my highlights page, where I write a single line about the best thing that happened each day. On this page, I had to include some reference to my absolute favorite character, Thorn. So I drew out his ship door, sort of, basically. I don't know. It's a spaceship thing. And the funny thing about Thorn is how much he reminds me of Han Solo from Star Wars, which I can now reference since my recent watching of Star Wars. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It only took me many a years to finally watch it, thanks to a friend who's very insistent that I watch them. I adore good character development, and Thorn's character arc, basically, girl, I could talk about it all day. But I won't, but I could. But I'll spare you. My last 2 pages are my stats and my content calendar. My stats page references both Cinder and Cress, Cress being a hacker on the team. So I did a sort of computer board thing. I'm sure there's like a actual name for it. But yeah. Maybe like a motherboard? I don't know computer parts, which I should learn because I'm trying to build my own PC. But anyway, this stats page is a little bit of a mess because I kind of forgot to add the stats that I'm going to track. I got a little distracted while recording because I've been watching My Hero Academia while sketching and recording the setup, and it got to a really intense battle scene, so I got a little distracted and forgot to add the stats. Then my content calendar, I wanted to add another quote, this one reading, "Broken isn't the same as unfixable," which kind of fits the vibe of the previous quote about like healing, recovery, and being a badass all on your own, you know? And I styled the font similar to the other quote, like the one I just mentioned, keeping the fonts and stuff coherent, so very nice and aesthetically pleasing, like I've said throughout this entire voiceover. And this is the final flip through at how my September 2021 bullet journal turned out, themed after the Lunar Chronicles. And I'll leave you with one request, and yes, I'm going to repeat it. Go read the Lunar Chronicles. It's a fantastic series, I promise, and you won't regret it. Okay, that's all. Bye!
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. It really means a lot. Like I said in the beginning, if you like the video, give it a like, comment down below, and of course stick around and subscribe if you want to see more journal setups from me. Oh, before I go, I suppose I should plug my socials. Instagram, Doodle with Cass. I post bullet journal videos. I don't post bullet journal videos. I post bullet journal pictures. Super fun time over there. I like taking the pictures, and they look really pretty. You should follow me. And also, I have an Etsy that you should go and check out, where I have stickers and some art prints of like past cover pages I've done. And I also have a sticker Instagram account where I post occasionally sticker designs. Rarely though. I'm working on it, okay? I promise. But yeah, also, fun time over there. So you should go and check them out if you want to. That would be cool. If not, also cool. But everything will be linked below for your convenience, just in case. Anyway, outro has been complete. Socials have been plugged. Thanks have been given. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good day. Toodles.